Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime, here with my next Boruto anime episode review. This one's going to be for episode 19, which is called Sarada Uchiha, and it's the start of the Naruto Gaiden arc, which is obviously the arc covering this book, which is Naruto, the 7th Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring, aka Gaiden. And it is, it's obviously the story of basically Sarada meeting Sasuke for the first time. Other stuff happens in it, but that is the kind of core aspect of this book, and I think a very interesting premise overall. This first episode covers more or less, the first chapter and a half of the manga. Leaving out a couple of things, in that they leave out a lot of the Sasuke stuff that we do get at the end of chapter 1 and the start of the next chapter. But they add in a few extra things on Sarada's side of the story. So you can see that they're really trying to kind of expand on what the manga's done here. So overall, I thought it was a pretty effective adaptation of the very start of the arc, in that obviously the characters we're focusing on are Sarada, of course. Chocho is going to be like the other main companion character. Boruto is going to play a kind of side role over the course of this story. And then, of course, Sakura is going to be there, important as well. But Naruto and Sasuke are going to play a role as well. It's not the, I think, most mind-blowing episode, but I think it presents a lot of really interesting kind of things, just in the sense of, like, this is kind of like the tipping point for Sarada, of, like, she sees everyone else getting a chance to train with their father and kind of seeing all these, father-daughter, father-son relationships around her. And she just really realizes that kind of what she's missing out on, not having her father around and just not knowing anything, and constantly, getting told to not ask questions about where her father is, and, not getting any answers when she does ask the questions. And she just kind of finally commits to, no, I really want to know. And it leads to that really nice scene of, like, she's asking her mother, Sakura, like, where is he? Why doesn't he come back? And so on. And Sakura does her best to obviously try and, kind of calm her down, while still noting that she can't really say a lot to Sarada, as difficult as that is. That it is such a complicated situation. She can't just reveal everything to her as much as she wants to. And ends up, obviously, when Sarada asked the question of, like, are you really Dad's wife? You can understand why that's, like, upsetting for Sakura to hear, that, like, she's just as upset as Sarada is about Sasuke not being around, but, like, to question if, basically, I'm actually your mother is an understandable thing why Sakura would get angry and, like, hit the ground like that. More leads to a comedic moment of just, she breaks the house, and that kind of causes her to faint. And that's why you're now left with Sarada in this position where she's just thinking to herself, no one to, like, calm her down about some of these ideas that she has, because her mother's out of action. And then now she's going off in this journey potentially to discover who her real parents are, or whatever. So that worked quite well. But definitely the question here is, given that she then goes to in this episode, she goes to the library and reads up everything she can about her father, and the Sharingan, and there's constant allusions and foreshadowing to the fact that Sarada is going to get her Sharingan soon, in that she keeps rubbing her eyes, her vision keeps going a bit blurry. Pretty much every time she sees, like, a picture of her father, or gets emotional around stuff relating to him, it begins to happen. And of course, she brings up stuff like, wait, you don't wear glasses. Did my father wear glasses? And it's a bit of a weird one in Sakura's answer, but I suppose her question, why she doesn't give the full answer, is just like, I knew him from when he was, like, 12 years old or something like that. I don't know if he wore glasses before then, but afterwards he didn't. Probably not. Like, is what we're meant to take it. But for Sarada, she's just like, wait, you're his wife. How do you not know this thing about him when it's such a specific question? And obviously, Sarada knows what she's talking about, but Sakura's just like, why does this matter? Sakura's not fully aware of the kind of inner crisis, in a way, that Sarada's going through about this. But anyway, at the library, she reads up about the Uchiha clan, and it says, the only remaining Uchiha clan members are Sasuke and his daughter. And then when she tries to get more information, it's all restricted. And this is, I think, the big thing about like why Sakura can't really say a lot to Sarada here. Why Sakura can't basically stop most of this arc from happening is because Sasuke is like pretty much the most classified ninja in the ninja world. That not many people are meant to know that he has the Rinnegan or all of these powers that he possesses. And then especially because of the nature of, I suppose, the series of Naruto and what Sasuke did, he probably has one of the most classified records of any ninja, given what he did with regards to being a member of the Akatsuki for a certain point in time, attacking the Kage, the Five Kage Summit, stealing all the tailed beasts and what happened towards the end of the war, in that who is going to just reveal all of that stuff about her father to this young girl. Even though, yes, she doesn't know a lot about her father and wants to know all this stuff, but who's going to reveal that full history to her? That has to be up to, I think primarily Sasuke here, in that Sakura could, maybe reveal this stuff, but she knows that, like, you can't just give all this classified information to someone, even if it is just, your daughter. So it's that situation, plus I suppose, like, it really should be Sasuke's decision about, like, to reveal the full reason for, like, why he wasn't there, in that Sakura understands why he's kind of not always there for her, but it needs to, I think, come from him why he's not been around for Sarada. There's that I think needs to come out too, and that's why the eventual meeting of these characters is going to be so important, which is why obviously Shizune basically saying, if there's someone you should ask about Sasuke, it should be Naruto, because he knows him more or less the best. And Naruto, obviously, as the leader of the Leaf Village, like, he'll be responsible for any information that he gives to Sarada about her father and so on. Of course, having read the manga already, I know where it's going, but I just like the idea that, another relationship that we will get explored quite heavily in this series is going to be Sarada and Naruto. It kind of explaining why in the Boruto movie, Sarada actually wants to become Hokage, rather than being the, I suppose, really cool epic ninja like Boruto wants to be. That the children of Naruto and Sasuke both actually want to achieve the goal of, like, the other one's, father, which is a really interesting dynamic, because obviously we get Boruto trying to mess around with Naruto here, seeing that Naruto doesn't have enough time to play, like, tag with him anymore, so he kind of does these bad things to force him into this situation. But that's that. They also kind of, I suppose, more heavily allude to a lot of this stuff with the inclusion of Chocho in this episode, and that we get to see Karui for the first time, I believe, in is it the first time? We might have seen her a little bit in one of the earlier episodes, but, like, the first time her getting any sense of focus here with Choji and Chocho, and just the first one to really bring up the idea of just, like, I'm beginning to think I'm not actually the daughter of those two over there. I think I have different parents. And it all stems for Chocho from this situation where she had a high fever one time, and Choji, we know it's Choji, got her medicine, and it was this really hard to get medicine, and in her fever-induced state, she thought that the person who gave her this medicine was this really, like, handsome man that didn't look anything like her father, even though I suppose we as an audience know that Choji, depending on what jutsu he uses, can either be standard, chubby Choji, or, more normal looking Choji, where he uses up all that fat as energy to do the kind of butterfly move that he has. So, like, the little details like that are obviously going to come out. That's going to be the big reveal there. That this is one of the first times I think Chocho kind of talks about her weight in maybe a slightly negative way, of just her, like, not being, like, overly, like, comfortable with it. So just kind of the reveal potentially here that one of the signature jutsus of her clan is this thing that, she can, use the fact that she's Chobi to do this amazing energetic jutsu with the butterfly thing, and she'll look a little bit different afterwards, and that's going to be a big thing that happens. But just the idea that Cho wants to go on this journey to discover who her parents really are sparks the idea within Sarada that she needs to do the same while her mother's out of action. And then the other big thing that happens in the episode that really sparks most of this is that in the destroyed house, she finds the picture, the only main picture she's had of her father, which is Sasuke in the Akatsuki robe. And she finds out that the picture is actually this kind of folded up picture that's placed kind of behind one of Sakura that makes it look like she and Sasuke are in the same picture, when in fact it is a picture of, basically, Team Heavy, or whatever you want to call it, Taka. And it's Sasuke next to Karin. And Karin wears the same glasses that Sarada does, and she places a lot of importance on this, in that obviously the confusion here is that Sarada thinks that Karin is her mother because of the glasses, and it sounds weird, but I suppose for Sarada at this point in time being so emotional about this, and it meaning so much to her, everyone being so secretive around her birth and all of this stuff, you could sort of understand why she takes something like this picture, and like this person she's never seen before has the same glasses as her, like, oh, they're keeping it from me because Sakura is not my mother, it's this person, and this may be why my dad isn't around anymore, and stuff like that. So a lot of these kind of she just needs to discover what's going on here with her family, and you get why she's maybe not thinking things through perfectly. Like when everyone basically brings up the question, like, of course Sakura is your mother. Like, did you not see how concerned she was for you in the very start of this episode when you reveal to her that your eyes were blurry? Sakura was immediately like, are you okay? Do you need to go get a checkup? And all of this stuff. Very, very caring, showing that she does care. What else? The episode ends, obviously, with the introduction of Sasuke into the story and someone attacking him just after he's come out of a dimensional portal. Obviously, a lot of Sasuke's kind of investigation at this point in time going into the idea of Kaguya, the other dimensions, and the other Otsutsuki members. But when he comes out, he is attacked by someone else, and the preview for the next episode hints very heavily at, obviously, our main villain character here, Shin Uchiha, and what we're going to get into here with regards to, that whole thing. But yeah, I think that's most of the episode that I wanted to cover. Yeah, I think that's most of it. I think obviously a lot of the big scenes still to come. This was just the introduction, getting the big ideas into place of just like the confusion just around the whole situation that Sarada's family is in, of just Sasuke being away, Sakura and everyone else in the village basically being secretive around her then seeing that, oh, who's this Karin person, and all of a sudden sparks in her mind, she has to figure this out right now, and she's on the verge of kind of awakening the Sharingan. You can see the emotional kind of situation building, and why the Sharingan will awake at some point here coming up, because meeting her father for the first time, it's going to be a big moment for her, and it's going to be interesting to see how the anime approaches doing a lot of these scenes coming up. But yeah, very successful start to this arc. I overall do really like the story of Gaiden, and I'm excited to see it animated. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the first episode of this arc. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. But yeah, that's been the video for today. Thanks for watching, and bye.